Welcome back to Factorio Seablock. Now, I was actually hoping to do another Stationeers episode today. Unfortunately, the entire implementation of how those programmable circuits work has now changed. They're an entirely different block, and we've got to wait for it to stabilize because you can't spawn them in just yet. So I thought I'd do another Seablock episode, and we'll get some other problems out of the way. So if you've been following along with the series, you'll know one of the things that I've been doing quite a lot is hand ladling this box across. It's been really annoying me for some time, and I wanted to fix it. And now it's come to the point where we're probably going to need to fix it as a matter of course. So being able to fix it so I don't need to keep supplying them to that box is good. Or at least not by hand anyway. Because I've then put this assembly machine in between the episodes. I did say I was going to do it at the end of the last episode. So here we have our 4 inputs, and we're making circuit boards. And we have obviously all the ingredients to make more should we need it. I may need to rearrange this pipe a little bit because it's only feeding into one machine, but we don't know how many more of these we're going to need. So let's take a look at the next step then. The next step is the electronic circuit board. And the good thing about this is it requires a few things. Basic electronic components, transistors, the circuit board, which we've already got, and solder. You might be asking, why is that good? Well, it's good because, first of all, basic circuit boards we're going to need to make basic electronic boards, I think. Yeah, basic electronic boards and basic circuit boards are part of the same chain of things we need to do to make electronic circuits. Electronic circuits, basic electronic board. This requires basic circuit board. And since we're going to need some of this anyway, these components for the new circuit board, this much better one up here, we may as well rebuild that setup and ideally get rid of the original over on the other side and maybe make it over here. I think I'll put it on the other side. I'm not sure why. I think I probably didn't have enough room to put it anywhere else. But we may well re-engineer it until a little bit better. So we need to do a few things. One is get solder over here, and that is via solder plate, which is tin and lead, and we've got both of those over here, so that's good. Alginic acid comes from brown algae, which comes from a farm. So again, we'll need an algae farm. And with saline water. Now, I thought I'd extracted a new source of saline water for this. Did I just decide to get rid of it? Or is it in here? It's in here. So we can just feed that actually into a farm to make brown algae. In fact, let's just do that first because it's straightforward. I hope. So let's put it, I just want it sort of, I don't want to interrupt all this stuff, so maybe we just put it sort of here, something like that. Yeah, let's try and put it there, and let's just say we want brown algae. And here on this side, I'm going to need to make more pipe, but you get the idea. Where's my pipe? There we go. We'll just use solid pipe for this. It's easier and faster to make. There we go. So the hydro plant's working. This is working, and we are pretty much just taking the extra that we need. It's not going to interrupt the flow of our main chain here for ferric chloride, and this should be producing slowly but brown algae. So we can then turn it into alginic acid. So let's just take a look. Where was that? It was for solder, wasn't it? So solder. Alginic acid is just in a regular assembly machine. So, and we've got automation 3 finished. That's just the 3rd level of assembly machines. We can't make them yet because we don't have red circuits. We need red circuits for the improved assembly machines. So alginic acid, along with solder plate, will get solder out. So if we want lead and, what was it? Lead and tin. We've got tin here, but I'm not pulling lead up here yet. And where have we got lead? I think it's in a few places. And it, did I start warehousing it because it was blocking stuff, I think? Where is it down here? I think this is lead. And it's backed up a long way. And it's coming all the way back up here and being fed in for our sort of research. So, and then I've got this one line coming out with copper and tin. What we may well do is just run another line, maybe this way. So I think I've got room right here to grab an inserter and just a little bit of belt And then from here, we just want to use this inserter to say, you get me a lead plate, please. Lead plate, lead plate. Okay, and that'll supply it onto this chain right here. And then I guess if we wanted something else, we could put it onto that belt as well. But for now, I don't really need anything else. That's slightly annoying. I could move that one further out, I guess. But I won't do that on camera. And we need a couple more underground pieces. There we go. And we can bring lead up here as well. Okay. So now we just need to put down an assembly machine or 2 or 3. Let's just see if we can make alginic acid any of these. I'm guessing not. We can certainly make solder though. Oh, there's a new recipe for solder. And that's actually pretty nice. It's resin and solder plate. I don't actually even need that lead. So, in fact, no, I do need, yeah, I do need the lead. I don't need this farm. Is that what it is? Let's just go back solder. Solder plate, alginic acid. Yeah, so I still need the lead and tin, but I don't need the farm. Good. Takes up far too much room, those things. Okay. So in that case, I just need the resin. And where's my resin factory? Here it is. So we've got the ability to make to combine this resin with something else, and we can probably pull it straight off that belt after it gets to this point onto another one, and maybe combine it over onto this. But we're not just going to need that, so we need the solder plate first. So let's build a solder plate. Is that actually doable in the electronic assembly machine? Not that. I needed the solder plate. No. So we need a regular one. Fine, that's no problem. Have I not already built one? I've got a second tier of toolbar now. Let me just get rid of that for a second. Yeah, second tier of tool belt, I should say. So, assembly machine. Let's just build a basic version. Let's see if that will actually work for this. Let's just put it here for now. And solder plate. I guess it's going to need an advanced version. Okay. What does the advanced version assembly machine need again? Iron. Straightforward enough. It'll be over here in a box. There we go. Make a couple. So we're going to need them as well as the electronics versions. All right. Solder plate. Solder. Whoops. No? Is that made in something else? Oh, it's in a furnace. Okay, but it's just lead and tin. And we can use whatever furnace we like, and we've already got a bunch of those. Steel furnace or metal mixing furnace. Can we choose? I don't think we can choose a recipe in anything but these. So let's just look at that and choose solder plate. We'll have to figure out some fuel for it, but for the moment I can just put a box in with, you know, for argument's sake, just some fuel. I normally carry some on me, but I don't seem to have any. I'll grab some later anyway. So that is solder plate. So we just need to grab a couple of you and tell you that you are going to be grabbing it from further out like that. Yeah, I do have some in my inventory. Okay, let's just put it there. All right, that's going to make solder plate and nothing but solder plate. And that can go onto a belt right here. And then we can also feed in, if we just put an inserter like this, and instead of going that side, we'll go this side. Okay, and then we can just feed onto the belt here, for example. There we go. And that will let me just go underground. Like that. Then we'll just feed across with a filter inserter. There we go. And filter inserter will take a minute to do, but not very long at all. Here it comes. Okay. Got ourselves some power lines, and we're done there. So we just want resin. And there it goes. So this line can then make our solder, which can be made in one of the electronics assembly machines. We'll put it there for now. We might assume that that's going to take something else soon enough, but it will do for now. And we want that recipe, yeah? So we can grab our inserters. Yeah, that's 4 and then 1. That's going to take a little while, but we may not need any more than that. And it makes lots of solder, so we don't need to worry about that. So that's the first thing done, the first ingredient. Next for this ingredient is basic electronic components and transistors. And that's pretty much it if we get both of those done. Okay, basic electronic components, that's tin copper wire. We have tin and copper here, so that shouldn't be a problem. And some carbon. That's going to be more of the supply problem over here on this side of the factory, but we can think about that later. Tin copper wire is quite straightforward. So we just go through copper plate, through copper cable, into tin copper wire, and then into basic electronic components. For transistors, we're going to need some other stuff. Is that why I built it where I built it? So it has access to plastic and silicon wafers. And is that the only recipe? It appears to be the only recipe at the moment. Plastic bar, so we've got liquid plastic, and silicon wafers. Let me check where they are in the rest of the factory and why they are where they are, and if we can get them back over here. Otherwise, it might be just worthwhile. In fact, even if we have those things, do we have transistors built already, or did I just stop at electronic components? Let's go and take a quick look. I think I stopped at electronic components because they're right there, you see. So here's this whole setup where we got the acid stuff, and that then we made into these circuit boards, which is why I may still need that old farm setup if we still want to supply these circuit boards. In any case, however, all of this just makes electronic components. We never actually go and make transistors. So do we even have plastic bar and silicon wafers set up yet? I don't think we do. And I may be thinking of the other series. So if we don't have those, we need silicon plate. This comes from molten silicon only. Yeah, on molten silicon only. And molten silicon comes from silicon ingots. But we've already been getting those out of our existing ore production, I think. And I think I'm just boxing them up somewhere. Iron and copper, we've got... What are you actually producing? Glass? All of that is with silicon. So if we don't need glass, then we have lots of glass, then we can probably use that differently. So what I may want to actually think about doing is not putting this through sort of a crusher, powder mixer, and instead we want to go and actually turn that into liquid silicon. Okay. And what was the other thing? If we have liquid silicon, we need plastics. Okay, and plastics coming from propene, and we don't have the plastic research yet. So I can't actually do that until I get the plastic research. However, once we do, what are the methods for creating it? Well, naphtha, we've already got that, but we don't have the polyethylene gas yet. Formaldehyde, we already have that, but not phenol. And phenol is blue metal catalyst, of course, or yellow metal catalyst. I don't particularly want that either. Cellulose acetate and acetone, probably not. And acetic acid and propionic acid. Okay, so is there any way... Probably propene is probably the easiest. Propene's coming from methanol. And we can get that from... In fact, do we already have that? Is that what we're already doing? Methanol? Down here. Green metal catalysts are going to... here. that we're producing carbon dioxide. Fair enough. And then it's coming in here to produce... What are we actually producing? It helps if I can actually click on this thing to see what's in it. It's empty. Formaldehyde. Okay. Are we getting anything else here, though? Methanol. Yeah, I thought we were making it. So we do have an excess of methanol here. It will, however, take the green metal catalyst if we use it to make more methanol, but we do have the ability to do that. And that will get us some of these components. So let's just, let me just look back at this. Plastics, liquid plastic, propene from methanol and steam. Steam's easy enough for us to get. In fact, we already have steam further up. And it's right here, in fact, not very far at all. Those two seem like this point and this point. We can just get propene straight from them. And some residual gas, but we need gas steam cracking for that. Is there anything else? So gas steam cracking and plastic 1. Okay, so plastics I thought I'd already researched, but sounds like I didn't. No. Okay, so plastic 1 I'll put on research. And gas steam cracking, is there any prerequisites for that? It looks like we've got the whole thing apart from this. What else did we get with it? Propene. Benzene, not a nice substance, ethylene, and methanol from methane and steam, as well as from methanol and steam. And we get the steam cracker as well. Okay, cool. And that's probably what we're going to need to use to make that. So I'm going to need to wait for this research to complete. So I will go and do a couple of other bits and pieces while that happens. Then when we come back, we'll build the rest of this. For the moment, though, I'll probably want to put some kind of just belt down with some solder on it, and just put a box in for now. And I'll just undo that if I need to. It just means I get an excess of solder. There we go. Okay, waiting for research, and I'll be right back. Okay, with both of those pieces of research done, we now have a steam cracker available. And of course, let's play the usual game of where's the inputs and outputs supposed to be. So let's take a look at this. Let's put it here. And we want methanol from, yeah, steam. There we go. Okay, where are my inputs? Steam is top, and that is there. So let's just actually change that a little bit. Just put one extra piece of pipe just to make things a little bit nice and neat as possible. Oh, it wouldn't quite stretch enough, but other than that, we're fine. So let's put you there. All right, so both of those should now have input, methanol, etc. You just need some power. And we'll just link it up to the rest of the system there. So we've got some residual gas to get rid of. Plastics, propene, residual gas. What can we actually do with this? Anything useful right now? Lubricant. Well, that needs base mineral oil as well. Petroleum jelly. I don't have the research for that. We can put it back through with crude oil to improve the yield of everything but naphtha. Or we can break it down with natural gas liquids. Or we can take the synthesis gas, and that's the gas steam cracking 2. What will that take us to? Turn it into carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Nothing that I particularly want there. Another way of getting solid fuel. Yeah, so I don't think I actually need it at the moment. So I'm just going to put a tank. Yeah, there we go. We'll make a full-size tank and then we'll just bottle it for the moment. But we do have methanol. So then we just need to go backwards and see what that needs to go through. So, sorry, not methanol, propene. Yes, propene. So that needs to go into a chemical plant to make liquid plastic, and then from liquid plastic, it goes through a regular assembly machine. So just a chemical plant will do us. Chemical. Not a furnace, just a regular plant. Okay, there is our tank. A huge tank, but a tank nonetheless. And that will just continue to fill up. And of course, I'll have to put a clarifier on that. Sorry, a flare tower with an overflow valve of some kind. But otherwise, we can probably put this here. We want liquid plastic. And from this, we can go straight into it's a liquid. So it'll probably go into something like this and then get regular plastic. There we go. Put a couple of pipes in. One there, a couple there. And can I hook this up to these and get power to them all? I think I can. Yep, it's building up, and once that obviously hits a certain amount, it'll come and produce plastic bar. Good, we've got that done. All right, so plastic bar we need to combine with silicon wafers and tin copper wire. So before we get to silicon, I'm not sure if that's going to be in this episode, but we'll see. We need to get tin copper wire, and that's the thing we need for the other side of things anyway. So we may as well build something for that. So tin copper wire and carbon. Carbon's the problem, as I've said before. But we can go back and do a chain of this to go and get this. So we're going to go through probably just electronics assembly machines for all of this, to be honest. Yes, it looks like we can. So maybe building myself into a corner for the future up there, but since we've got this chain here, we may as well put them down. And let's just put it like this. Are they going into each other? Well, I'll leave space for them if they are. And there we go. We'll see. Let's work backwards. So tin copper wire first. There it is. That does need tin plates, so it's a good thing that's right there. And copper cable. So this one's going to be copper cable. There we go. From copper plate. Am I working one too far away? I think I am. Let's reset this. Here is the copper cable. There we go. And then this one is going to be presumably the last thing in the chain. Basic electronic components themselves, which are right here. There we go. And each of these requires their predecessor, so we'll just put in some inserters. And then I'm going to need some power. There we go. And this one's going to need a box temporarily because I don't have any other source of carbon just yet. We'll have to think about that as well. And I'm going to need to go and get some carbon for that to actually finish. And then we'll be able to, I don't know, feed it out there or something along those kind of lines. Once we have this, what are you all limited by? Tin plates? You're stuck because you're trying to supply copper. There we go. All right, that should all be working. I just need some carbon now, and we can get 2 ingredients for our next level circuit board. 3rd ingredient sort of coming up, and we'll see how far we get with it. Okay, to save some time, I just ran the belt of silicon ore all the way up here because to get into silicon, you also need a source of carbon. And since I'm already getting a carbon to here, then I may as well. Now, carbon itself from near the steam engines is not too far. It's right there, the steam engine block. So I could take them off the end of this line or maybe an extra line or something to split. But for the moment, again, it's much easier to get that over here when I actually need it. So we're going to need to go through the whole carbon chain. Well, not the carbon chain, the silicon chain, I should say. So in here, we need silicon wafers. So we're going to need assembly machine. We're going to need casting machines, induction furnaces, and indeed blast furnaces. So a typical kind of setup, I would imagine. Let's just see, do I actually have any in my inventory? No, it's an ore processing machine. So let's just get a blast furnace. Just a regular Mark 1 will do for the moment. Induction furnace, Mark 1, and let's just say 3 casting machine Mark 1s for the moment. And they should appear on my toolbar at the bottom here. So yeah, we've got them right next to each other, so this should be fine to feed in. I'll probably just need a short piece of belt there to take care of that, but otherwise we'll be fine. So let's just grab the blast furnace. Do I want this anywhere in particular? No, I think we can just put it wherever for the moment. So blast furnace. I don't want steel, I want silicon. And I'm going to need a couple more inserters. And we're going to need some more power, aren't we? Okay, and do we have the induction furnace? We do, so that's going to go here. But I'm not stood on it. And then usual kind of thing with this, let's just say we put them like this. And there we go, that kind of thing. We can set up the recipes in advance, so molten silicon and silicon plate. Copy paste that. And from silicon plate, we've got to go through an assembly machine. So that's probably going to be here. Well, not quite there actually, because it's going to need to go onto a belt. Like that. And then we'll just grab that off this belt. And then we want silicon wafers. Okay, so that's pretty much everything done. We'll need to put inserters in. A couple of inserters across there. And a few more just feeding in carbon. And then we just need power to all of this. So one there, maybe one there. Actually, no. Let's just move that one for... Oh, loose connection. That's annoying. Can I just move this one across? That'll probably be the easiest. And then I can put one there. Can I get in power range? No, I can't. Again, still annoying. Let's just put it there for now. Alright, so that's now producing silicon plate. And remove that piece. There we go. We're going to get this. And that's the last ingredients I think we need. We need for transistors, that is. Tin copper wire, plastic bar, and silicon wafers. Now, I already ran the plastic bar up from this assembly machine onto this line right here. So we just need this line and this output, and we can then produce whatever we want. So let's just run this across. And can we use this electronic assembly machine for this? Hopefully we can. A little bit nicer to use. So let's just put it here. Can we make transistors? We can. And we just need two belts here. One there. Another set there, and then an inserter. And we should get transistors out of this side onto another belt. I realize it's starting to look a little bit like spaghetti over here, but once we've got the basics, we can, sorted out, we can always think about how to actually rearrange this so it looks nice and is quite open as far as building this is concerned. So, what are we waiting for here? We just need to feed out from this. That's going to start making transistors. Good. We've got electronic components. Also good. We got solder somewhere. Where did I put the solder? It's got to be around here somewhere. It's into a box at the moment, that's why. So we've got it here. We can move it. And then lastly, that'll make electronic circuit boards. And that is just in assembly machine 2. So we just need to get all the stuff to it. So that in turn will then let us make advanced circuits with a few other bits and pieces. So let's make that up. We need probably, can we get away with this? Will this make the next version up? No, it won't, unfortunately. Got to use a full-size one. Never mind. That shouldn't be very hard. So I've got to get the solder, this, and what was the last thing? I'm still missing one. Is it the earlier circuit board? Yeah, the circuit board. So that's this. So if we just get this over here, we can run that underground and merge the two. Like that. That's one belt sorted. And then I just need solder and transistors on the other belt. So, well, let's just bring the solder across. what's it actually waiting for right now? Resin? Are we just short on resin? Where's our resin production gone? Is it just being pulled to this box? Looks like it is. So let's just turn off that box for now. And we've got to chase back why it's not producing, but that shouldn't be much of an issue. It looks like a shortage of formaldehyde, so I'll figure that out later. However, the principle is sound. So we just need to change this from a box to something else. So we just need probably underground here. And we'll just do a reverse underground this way just to make this easier to route around. There we go. And that will come across here quite naturally along with this. So let's just bring this around and down. And we'll join it on right here. There we go. So once this is in production, that should naturally start up. What are you actually waiting for? Tin copper wire, you should have... Oh, it needs another inserter, that's why. Yeah, let's make sure it has both of those available. Another inserter, and we're going to set this to pick up and drop like that. There we go. That should be producing transistors now. I'll solve the resin thing later. And we can just go... maybe here for the moment. Like that. And then from here we can just put a regular assembly machine in here. And circuit. Electronic circuit board. There we go. Couple of inserters. And we should be done with this tier, at least until I have to rebuild it for space, but, you know, that happens too. Alright, so that's getting some of the ingredients. It's going to need 2 inserters there. One coming from the other direction, of course. Sorry, not the other direction, but picking up and dropping one further away. There we go. We may have to upgrade those to fast ones later, but for now it's fine. Apart from solder and, you know, just to solve solder for now, I can just drop it in there like that. And that will solve that issue. And why we're short of formaldehyde now? Let me just chase that back. We're short of it because we've got too many of these metal catalyst holders in the system. What I may have done is something along the lines of built some more. And maybe I shouldn't have done quite as much as that. So yeah, we can just build a buffer there. Let's just put a box right here. And move that and a couple of fast inserters, I want to say. And let's just, for now, overwhelm the thing with power. There you go. And that should start producing formaldehyde again, which should in turn start supplying this machine right here. And we're producing resin again, exactly what we needed. So the resin is going to come through. And then over here somewhere, I'm going to need to just take out this solder. And I'm just going to need to just... Oh, I need to drop that somewhere. That's remarkably inconvenient. Let me just take these... Put these things back in this box. There you go. I'll give me one more room. And then I can just put the solder on this chain right here. We will probably need another line off that because remember I may need to put that farm back to make the other type of circuit boards, just to keep this system happy right here without having to feed this manually. You see it's already empty again, and it's for research, so you know, having to fill this manually isn't a good thing. But we have all our ingredients here, so once we make another chain up there somewhere with the farm, we'll just feed those old-fashioned circuit boards straight down here for this, and that will do us very, very well, I think. So we've got this next tier of circuit board, and technically all of this can now be made. Although, shouldn't that be showing? Oh, it's already made some. There we go. So they should be going on a belt somewhere. Haven't decided exactly where yet, but, you know, maybe something like that for now. And There we go. Let's just get some power. There we go. So we've got that whole chain done, and that leads into advanced circuits. So we'll need the green circuits, which needs that other chain. We need this, which is this chain, and then we need copper, which we can already do, which leaves us with aluminium. Did I make aluminium? It doesn't look like I've made aluminium plate in this playthrough because we don't have the research yet. But that it comes through from aluminium ingots, which comes from alumina, aluminium hydroxide, aluminium ore. And aluminium ore in this comes from the same thing that makes zinc. And I think we're already doing that, because that's coming from... where are you coming from? Mineral sludge jivalite. Is there anything else we can make? Is it just jivalite chunks? I don't think we're actually doing that one, actually. I thought we were. It would be one of these down here. That's obviously the chunks of bobmonium. This is the rubite chunks. And we're actually... what are we getting here? Have I forgotten what this stuff is? Quite possibly. No, we are getting aluminium. It's just for a different process. That's fine. And it is backing up because we're using it for the green metal catalyst. So that's fine. We can just divert some of that. It's not a terrible amount being made at the moment. It's being backed up without actually having a warehouse here. So we'll use that next episode and getting on with the sort of final thing to get to red circuits. Getting aluminium plate. And red circuits, well... 99 recipes, including assembly machine 3s, really important to get. That actually needs some steel in the assembly machine 2, so that will be relatively quick to get. And then there's the bunch of other things, and these atomic sensor arrays and the copper waste byproducts, aside from all this other stuff, are the stuff that leads to blue science. See, we are going to get there. It just takes a little bit of setup to get there in Bob's and Angel's, and especially so in Seablock. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share if you have. And of course, do let me know in the comments below if you're confused on anything, or if you've got any better ideas how this should be rearranged. Do let me know, and I'm more than happy to read them. I do read all the comments, even though I can't always reply to all of them. So until next time, thanks a lot for watching.